So one of the best things I ever did was to get past my bike test and get my license. The freedom and the enjoyment you get from sitting on a two-wheeled machine, especially bigger bikes, they're just so much fun. But how much does it actually cost to get your bike license? Yup, what is going on, dudes? Welcome back to the channel. So I thought I'd have a wee chat about getting your bike license, because obviously we do mod 2 stuff, we've done mod 1 stuff, and there's not really been too much talk about the actual price. We've spoke about licenses and things like that, but that's about it. The one thing you might notice is, hello, I've put my other camera out. It's a bit messy at the moment because I've not really tidied away any cables and stuff, so it's just kind of black taped up at the moment just to kind of get it powered, really, because the GoPro battery is crap. So the bike license, how much does it cost? So it depends really what route you want to go down. So we're going to talk about this in terms of someone who's approaching it who doesn't have any form of license. Okay, so obviously if you're a car driver, you don't need to apply for a provisional license because you've already got a full driving license. Even if you've been taking lessons to drive, you still have a provisional license. Alright, so a provisional license covers both car and bike. It basically just means that you are now eligible to learn to drive some sort of vehicle, whether it be a car or a bike. So you have to start off with your provisional license. At the time of filming this video, it was £34. I think it's a little bit dearer if you do it through post. I can't quite remember. I think it's like 43 quid or something like that. So that's the first thing you have to do, is you have to get your provisional license sorted out. And the next step is obviously your CBT. Your CBT can vary from school to school, so get in touch with your local riding schools and find out prices, quiz them about what's going to happen on the day, take into account all their answers and go with what you feel is going to be the best value. And obviously you have to take into account what training you're going to get. You want to make sure that they are covering absolutely everything that should be covered in the CBT. I've got a CBT video there, if you want to go and check it out, I'll link it up in the corner. We just go over the different elements that you should do on the day. So your CBT can vary on price, so it can go from anywhere from about £110 all the way up to about £150 depending on the school. So again, shop around, get in touch with your local schools, find out what prices they've got. And again, remember to quiz them, not being a bit of a pest quizzing them, but just ask them what can I expect to happen on the day, and they should give you a basic rundown of what should happen. So that's the first two sections of your bike license done, your provisional and your CBT. So £34 for your provisional and anywhere between 110 and 150 for your CBT. You can get these courses where everything is done in about a week, you know, so you can do it that way. You'll have to check your local schools, see if they provide that. Some schools don't, they just prefer you to come in and take your individual lessons or whatever, and some schools do offer full courses where you can go in on the Monday and hopefully by the Sunday you've got yourself a full bike license. But the way we're going to be covering it in this video is the way which quite a lot of people do it, is just going through the stages. It means you don't have to fork out a massive lump sum at once as well. So from this point, you've now got a decision to make. Now, I always think the best way to do your bike license is to do your CBT and then get a 125. The reason I'm saying that is because that 125 experience that you get on the road, obviously you have to cover the price of buying a 125. The experience you get is priceless. You can't put a value on experience, alright? You just can't. The way I done it is what we're just talking about. I got a 125, read about in that for about 6 or 7 months and started training from a mod 1, and it just made everything so much easier. And let's be honest, 125s, although they're not powerful, they're a lot of fun. They are so much fun. And providing you buy the right kind of 125, you know, if you get something like Yamaha and Honda and things like that, you'll find that they hold their value really, really well. When I sold my 125, I got back exactly what I paid for it, and that was a Yamaha YBR 125. Cracking little bike, so good. So whatever you decide to do, whether you decide to get a 125 or not, you're going to have to sit your mod 1. Now your mod 1 test is £15.50. I'm just going over the test prices just now, and I'll explain that shortly. Once you've done your mod 1, You've then got your Mod 2, which is £75 if I can remember correctly. So regardless of what route you decide to go down, if you decide to get a 125, get some on-road experience, or you decide to go straight into your Mod 1 training, there's something in between that you have to do, and that's the theory test. The theory test has to get done regardless if you drive a car or not. I've been driving a car for 16 years or whatever, and just because I have a car theory test, it doesn't mean that I don't have to do one on the motorbike. I still had to do one, because it is a different vehicle. You have to do another theory test. So your theory test is, I think it's about £25, 23, 24, something like that, in between about 20 and 25 from what I can remember. But there's one thing you have to take into consideration. Your CBT and your theory test have an expiry date. They both have 2 years. So if you pass your CBT in January 2022, it'll run out in January 2024. If you've done your theory test in June 2022, it'd run out in June 2024. What you really want to be doing is you want to try and get your CBT and your theory test booked in the same month. That way they're both going to run out in the same month, so you don't get caught out. Because someone might sit their CBT, they'll ride about for a year and then say, right, I'll do my theory test, and they think that they've got 2 years. They don't. They've only got a year because their CBT is already used 1 year. So they both have expiration dates and they're both valid for 2 years. So whether you do them in the same month or not, just take note of when they run out and keep a check on it. And the reason I like to say to people do it in the same month is then that they're going to run out in the same month, so you know that you've got 2 years on both of them at exactly the same time. But of course that depends. If you're planning on going straight for your Mod 1, then that's something you don't really need to worry about. And then obviously after your Mod 1 is a big one, the Mod 2. So the Mod 2 is £75, right? From applying for your provisional to paying for your Mod 2, you are around about the kind of £250–300 mark. I'm talking about prices of tests here. I'm not talking about any training included. So I mean, you can get through your tests yourself if you decide to do that. Alright, it is possible to use your own bike as long as you can get it to the test centres. Obviously you can't ride it there because you don't have a licence. Maybe you've got a mate who does, who can ride it for you, or if you've got a van, chuck it in the back of the van and take it. But obviously you have to make sure that you've got the relevant insurance, all that sort of stuff. No, you can't take a bike that's not insured and then go out on the road with it. Even for Mod 1 you have to make sure it's all insured and taxed. And I know the Mod 1 is in a closed off area, but it doesn't start in a closed off area. It actually starts in the car park of the test centre, and the car park is a public area. So by law, if you've got a bike that's in a public area, public road, whatever, it either has to be SORN, so you tell the DVLA that it's not on the road, or it has to be taxed. Alright, one of those two things. It can't be anything else. Alright, so if it's sitting in a public area, even if that's a car park, it has to be either SORNed or taxed. It's that simple. Alright, so even for your Mod 1, I can't guarantee that it definitely has to be taxed and insured for your Mod 1, but I would play it safe. I would definitely play it safe. You can get temporary insurance for purposes like that. I think BikeSure do quite a good deal for that sort of thing. If in doubt, get in touch with the test centre that you're going to go with. Give them a call and say, look, this is the way I'm planning on doing it. What do I need? Do I need to be insured? What's the score? And obviously if you're going to do your own Mod 2, the same applies, but it will have to be taxed and insured because you're going out on the road. So you can do it that way. If you don't want to pay for training, you're trying to do it on a budget. Personally, for me, I always recommend that people get at least one lesson on both mods, especially if you're coming from a zero experience background. If you've got no experience of being on a bike, you need to get some lessons. You need that professional guidance, because the thing you have to remember, paying for lessons, it's not just paying for someone to teach you how to ride a bike. You're paying for their expertise. Not only are they showing you how to do it correctly, they're correcting any faults that you might have. So if you're doing something wrong, they're going to say to you, look, that's wrong, this is how you do it. And by doing that, they're helping keeping you safe. And that is something that money can't buy. Safety can't be bought. Obviously, there are things you can do to help, obviously, but at the end of the day, paying for those lessons to get that vital piece of information and advice, money can't buy that. Once you've got that knowledge in your head, it's there forever. And for the couple £100, whatever it's going to cost you for lessons, the way I see it, it's not a bad deal. if you're already pretty experienced on a bike, say you've been riding for years, you've been doing your CBT over and over for a, you know, couple of years or whatever, because obviously you have to reset it every 2 years, maybe you don't need that many lessons. Maybe you can get one mod 1 and one mod 2 lesson, and that will be enough for you to get past your test. When booking mod 1 and mod 2 through your school, you have to pay the school basically a fee, you know, because they're providing the bike, you're basically hiring the bike. It comes, you know, with insurance. The bike gets taken to the test centres for you. On the day of your mod 2, you'll get, well, usually you should get a little lesson beforehand, you know, just before, on the way to the test centre, just to make sure that everything is up to speed. So the way I always recommend doing it is just do it through a school. I know that it is going to be a more expensive option, you know, I get that, because like I said, you know, you're not just paying for an instructor to teach you what to do and how to do it, you're basically paying for them to watch you doing it as well and correcting any faults that you might have. And that's the key thing about getting taught how to ride, is any mistakes you have, any faults you have, it's going to get tidied up. Because one way to think about it, alright, at the end of the day, when you pass your test, if you do it by yourself, there's no one there to iron out any faults that you've got, so you're potentially starting your riding life with bad habits. You know, that's not a great place to be, you know. You want to be starting your riding life with everything the way it's supposed to be done, and by doing it the way it's supposed to be done, that means that you're going to be so much safer on the road. And that's what it's all about, dudes. You know, it's about passing your test and staying safe. So you have to take into account how much it's going to cost you for lessons, and I can't give you an answer for that because everybody's going to be different. But you'll find that a lot of schools do these block lessons, so you can buy like 10-hour lessons for a discounted price, and you know, that's a good way to do it as well, you know, because then it's all paid for, so you know what, if I need another lesson, it's on the card. So that's about it really, dudes. You know, that's pretty much how much it's going to cost you test wise, and then if you decide to go down the route of getting lessons, which personally I think you should, but only you, the rider, can decide that. You know, only you can say, I want to take lessons, or I don't want to take lessons, or I feel like I need more lessons, or I don't need any more. That's entirely up to you. But either way, you're obviously going to have to pay for the tests. Provisional, CBT, theory, mod 1 and mod 2. They have to get paid for regardless of what route you go down, and for all that you're looking about the £250 to £300 mark. Hopefully you can find that useful, and hopefully it can help you plan and budget your lessons, your tests, whatever route you want to go down. Well, anyway, dudes, hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have, guys, give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate every single one of your likes, and of course, if you want to see all of my uploads, click on that subscribe button and ring the bell while you're there. That way you'll get notified every time I upload a video. But until next time, dudes, stay safe, ride safe, take it easy.